Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to our first look at Motocross Chasing the Dream. This is an actually pre-release demo version of the game, and finally, after a long time, I feel like we've actually seen quite a bit of footage and some other stuff coming out from these developers about this game, and finally we have something that we can actually hold in our hands and play and feel for ourselves and kind of see what it's all about. This is obviously very early, very rough, and we're just going to kind of break down a couple things about it. First of all, LCQ Studios is behind this game. This is a group of people that have been around motocross gaming for quite a while. They've obviously all played sim and bikes and stuff like that and see what those felt like. And I think the goal for them was to kind of try to, make something break off that, they felt they could do better with the motocross genre. And so they're trying to work some things out with, building a game basically from scratch and trying to feel it out and get the ball rolling on it. And we've seen a lot of stuff with this project, but now to be able to hold it and actually play it is pretty dang cool. So we're going to ride around this track here a little bit, talk about this game, and talk about how you too can also play this game. This was just released yesterday now, as I'm recording this on Wednesday the 31st of August, a little bit later than I wanted to, but yesterday now, you can go to the Steam page. This is only available on Steam, and look for Motocross Chasing the Dream. There is now a early access version of this game, and you can, for $15, help basically support them by getting this early access to the game. This is before they have a full release of 1.0 come out, and so on and so forth along those lines. And you get this little track to play on. It's got this motocross track that I'm riding. It's got a Supercross track. It's got a trail track, and I think it's even got a second motocross track kind of. So we'll try to ride each of those and talk about how the physics feel a little bit. They've already had a day one release update from when it eventually hit the public yesterday. And so now they've added so you can reset in your last place so you went down instead of resetting at the marker. You can tap on the reset button to reset the bike. You can hold on the reset button to spawn at the marker. There's lowered bike power now by 10%, engine braking cut in half for a 125. Clutch power output decreased again, sideways crash settings tweaked. Stick rebinding now works on all controllers. Third person rider always hidden on first boot if first person. Players can no longer switch cameras when crashed, and players cannot be placed when crashed. So just, already kind of a lot of fixes to the game from the beginning. But enough about all the stuff that they're fixing and changing and how you guys can get it. We'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about how this game feels and what I like and what I don't like about it so far. Obviously, as it's very new, very early, there's a lot of things that feel really weird and quirky about it, and it definitely doesn't feel like, a complete game whatsoever. It's not supposed to feel like a complete game. It's supposed to feel, like they're at the beginning stages of something cool, and they want the users to feel it out. So I'm going to hit on the ground physics first because I feel like that's kind of, the baseline of what we want to feel. And right from the get-go, you can tell that in my opinion, it bounces a little bit too much. As you go over some whoops and some bumps and stuff, it doesn't seem like the suspension soaks up everything perfectly. You can definitely kind of see this in this view a little bit better. This all looks fine through these bumps and stuff like that, but to some degree, I feel like it's a little bit too bouncy still. But it actually doesn't look all that bad considering where they are in this stage of it. I feel like it actually does look like the bike is going through stuff and handling it quite well. The suspension is rebounding nicely. It does look like, the wheels and everything are reacting well to the ground. And there is actually, as you can see there, a crash. What a crash looks like. There is actually some terrain deformation. I played this game for maybe 20-30 minutes yesterday. I was going to record a video yesterday, but kind of ran out of time. And got a feel for what it's like, how it reacts to things, and eventually, after you play it for a little while, the track does change up a little bit with the way that the ruts are laid into the ground. You can see how the tires interact with the ground, and it goes over ruts and stuff like that. So I haven't got a full scope of how it feels to properly lay into a rut yet, but again, I think they're still so early on this that there's a lot of things they're going to change and fix about it. But I do like what I'm feeling so far about how it looks and feels over the ground. It's pretty weird feeling, I feel like, right now with how long it takes to kind of lean the bike into corners and stuff like that. So that's one of those things that's going to take a little bit of time to either get used to, or maybe they're going to tweak with the settings a little bit of how you can kind of change stuff up and how it feels in that regard. But it's not bad. It's just obviously still pretty early, so it's going to feel a little clunky to play and a little bit hard to get used to. But yeah, I feel like ground-wise, it looks pretty solid so far for where they're at. Now, air physics-wise, you know, I think they're trying really hard with this game to present an option that really cures a lot of the problems people talk about with air physics, which is, you know, they want the free the whip physics to work. They want the ability to scrub. People want you know, a little bit more looseness in the air, but to a realistic degree. Like I feel like with All Out, for example, and even well, Legends is kind of worse for this because it's way too heavy, but All Out was really, really loose in the air, so you could do some unrealistic stuff. But in this game, you know, it takes a while to get stuff around. Like it takes a little bit to kick a whip out. Like I'll hit this jump right here, and if I try to do a backflip, it takes a while to get the backflip all the way around. If I do a 360, it takes a while for it as well. So it's realistic in the sense that like the gravity of it feels heavy to the right scale. One thing that I've really liked about the air physics so far is that I feel like they actually did kind of nail the like up and down gravity to a degree. Like when you take off and you're going a certain trajectory, like you float through the air that exact trajectory to scale with gravity. I feel like sometimes with these arcade games, it is really, really off with how gravity feels, and then it just kind of screws the rest of the game up because you're like, well, I feel like I should hit this jump this speed and I'll be in the air for this long. Well, this game definitely has that exact feel. If you hit a jump at a certain speed, you're going to be in the air for a certain amount of time, and you just know that you're going to be in the air for that long. So I like the feel of that. Obviously, I like how it feels so far with the whip physics. Like I think there's still some things they're going to try to work on to improve it, to make the rider a little bit more flowy and, you know, the ability to throw stuff out. But, you know, throwing little kind of like turn down whips is pretty easy. I haven't really tried like an oppo whip yet, but let me see if I can maybe cork one out of this corner off of this jump. Yeah, kind of like throws it out there and then turns back a little bit. Have to hold it wide open to keep the nose high. Kind of bounce through the whoops here. But yeah, really good flow with the, you know, the way it feels in the corners. The air physics are definitely a plus so far. It's just got a long ways to go with the way that the rider looks and moves on the bike, with the way that the bike reacts to the ground, with the way that the physics in the air kind of interact with how you connect back to the ground, and then, you know, clean up some of that bounciness and so on and so forth. We'll check out the Supercross track here so you can see what it looks like. It's obviously, like I said, it's rough. It's not going to be polished and perfect, but it's just trying to get a little bit of a feel for it. Now, one thing that I've really struggled with so far is that if you're in the wrong gear, you'll really coast up to a jump until it like kind of hits the right speed range for that gear, and then it's just like a freaking slingshot. Like you'll be coasting, and then just yacht off a jump, even though I'm wide open. So definitely an emphasis to stay in the right gear for this bike and not push it beyond or below that gear, I guess I should say. Like if I'm in first gear here and shift up to second, it kind of bogs out of the corner. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's rough, but so far there are plenty of promising signs here, in my opinion, to say like these guys are on the right track to something good. Now they just need to button up, you know, some of the loose ends, tie some things together that makes it look a little bit more flowy and, you know, maybe less restrictive on how it feels into the corner. Like that was really weird right there, jumping and then just like stopping. So yeah, it's good. There's some things they can work on for sure, but I'm satisfied with it so far. As just a player myself, I'm definitely happy to see where they're at with it. As a fan of motocross, I'm so excited that we're going to have this actually come to fruition, have another game out there on the market that will be available for us to play and try out. I'm going to try first person here for a little bit so you guys can see what this is like, and I'm trying to get better at shifting so that I'm not screwing it up everywhere. But you can definitely like tip over into corners and then try to get through these whoops as we just brutally slow through those whoops. I just feel like it's so like stop and go a little bit with the way that the throttle response is. The first person looks pretty good. I feel like third person needs a little bit more help to it with the way that it kind of feels a little bit distant from the motorcycle and not as well attached, but it's not a bad third person. I feel like it's right up there with some of the third persons I've seen. So yeah, pretty good. Here's the Supercross track. Played that a little bit. Let's go ride the Enduro track a little bit because I feel like the Enduro fans out there really want to see what this looks like. I've had a ton of people say that they wish there's just a straight up hardcore Enduro game made and that was it. But obviously this game is going to have all of it. Just going to have Enduro mixed in. It's pretty hard to stay like really inside of these ruts and stuff like that, but it's not terrible. Try to get like a 360 off right there. it's pretty easy to stop the rotation of the bike too. Like once you get started, if I just like lean way back, oh, that was a weird crash. If I lean way back and then, you know, just like halfway through the air, like if I go all the way back, I can stop and then go all the way forward again. Like that's obviously unrealistic. There should be a little bit more momentum factored in there, I think, but not terrible. Again, as I said, it's still such an early version of the game that we have to just kind of look at like what actually is the steps in the right direction they've already made with this game and how can they continue to improve on that. So if you guys actually really want to help them out, what I'd highly recommend is downloading this for yourself on Steam, trying it out, and providing feedback. You know, either, you know, provide feedback down here in this video, because I'm sure the LCQ Studios guys are going to read it. This, you know, Michael Hodge over there does a great job with, you know, reaching out to the community members and making sure that they have their voices heard. But, you know, leave a comment down here, email them. I'm sure that there's a way to email them through their LCQ Studios website, or leave feedback on the Steam store page as well so that they can get a better idea. That's the whole point of having this early access demo for us to play, is to get a better scale of like what are we actually going to have, what is this game going to look like, and yeah, like kind of get us revved up a little bit for when they continue to develop it, continue to make it better. That's, you know, honestly, that's kind of where Sim and MX Bikes are, right? Is they are more or less released games. Technically, MX Bikes is still in beta, but they've always been constantly updating these games and trying to make them better, trying to make them more complete and whole to a degree. And it all starts with just a simple purchase of the game. And they say in this release that, you know, if you do the pre-purchase for the $15 at that discounted price, it's not just the demo that you get at that point. You also get the release of the 1.0 version of the game, and then from updates on that point onward, I believe that price still applies. So that's awesome of them to basically offer this game up front at a low cost to get you guys like in early, to get you guys talking about this game, and watch them continue to develop and grow this game as it progresses. So really cool by them. Really excited to see where this goes. And yeah, definitely I would recommend heading to the Steam store and checking it out. Really going to see how far they go from here, what is the next steps. And we'll be trying to follow the progress every single step of the way, because we are, of course, love any and all motocross games, but especially when you put out a new kind of simulation, realistic version of a game to a degree, which is what they're trying to copy a little bit or emphasize with these games. Obviously, we're going to get really excited here at Start Your Systems, because that's definitely our heavy background when it comes to motocross games. So this is really cool. Excited to see where they progress from here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and all the information that we have included here. If you have any more questions, please be sure to hit us in the comment section below. We're happy to get down there and try to answer as much as we can about this game, about the company, LCQ Studios, and where their you know, next, I guess, steps are with this game. Try to get in touch with the developers over these next few weeks probably, and you know, hear their side of the development cycle that they're on, and how much more you know, time or effort they feel like they're going to need to get this game to a point where they feel it's a releasable game. But yeah, this is their pre-alpha stage, and 1.0 hopefully coming down the road soon. We're excited to see it. Hopefully you guys are too. That's our first look though at Motocross Chasing the Dream. Messed up the name. Chasing the Dream by LCQ Studios. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.